Hey guys, Justin Giddings here, the Kickstarter Guy, and I just wanted to address a couple of the concerns that have been coming into my world regarding crowdfunding and this pandemic that's happening. So, a couple of questions. First off, is if I'm already in a campaign, what should I do? And my response to that is keep going. The campaigns that I have running right now, I've got three as of this shooting this video. All three of them are in great shape. Two of them are already funded with time left on the clock. So I have not yet seen a negative reflection of this pandemic in the currently running campaigns. I think in the next coming weeks there's going to be some challenges, which I'm going to get into. But my advice would be that if you've got a campaign running, keep doing the job and don't allow the external circumstances to damage your enthusiasm about the vision of the thing that you are creating. There is the other side of this crisis. And when we get to that other side, people will be consuming art, and I imagine many of us will continue as we were beforehand. So, what I just strongly recommend is take the time to take care of your mental health, give yourself relaxation time. Know that while the headlines that we're hearing are scary, and that's what we see in a lot of the media, many people are simply taking wise precautions and going about their day as best as they can. And so you can fill that space there with quality, again, if you're running a good campaign, right, with quality, good content about a piece of art that matters and that you care about. All the stuff that's happening right now doesn't change all the stuff that is happening elsewhere. We still have, issues of human rights. We still have all the things that people are making, filmmakers are making and talking about and telling stories about. Obviously, right now there's for lack of a better word, the distraction of this thing happening. But that doesn't mean that art is dead or dying. It just means that we're kind of on wait and see pause mode right now. Which sort of brings me to the second piece, which is that if you haven't launched your campaign, I very, very strongly recommend delaying that campaign. I don't think, like, if you have to launch and it's going to happen, kind of the same rules apply of great, go for it. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But the truth of it is that you're fighting an uphill battle. I mean, just the cards are not stacked in your favor. People are distracted. People's bank accounts are going to start seeing the effects of the hit that this is going to have on the economy. And so if you don't have to launch right now, don't take this time to build out your audience and continue prepping. Just recently in my hacking Kickstarter group on Facebook, there was an interview that I did with a guy who created a game. They just hit $1 million with this game, and they spent 10 months prepping. So you can use this as a time to continue prepping, continue building your audience, continue building out your team, and so forth. If you are going to be launching because for whatever reason you feel that you must and need to, I would try to adjust the goal down to as small as you can possibly make it. So my normal advice in the goal space is ask for what you need. Why do all this work and not get the thing that you want, really? That's what I meant to say. Sorry, that you should ask for what you want. That there's a marriage between what you need and what you want. And we try to find that like sweet spot. In this case, I wouldn't do sweet spot. I would go for what makes the thing happen. Because again, all the reasons of why delaying the launch, you're competing with a message that's going to be speaking to people's primal fears. And so, make this job easier by just simply making the goal amount smaller to go to. Additionally, if you're launching, again, I recommend going all in with your vision. Don't apologize about it. Don't, you know, I think you can't not address it, but at the same time, put it in the context of what it is that you're doing. I've got a campaign right now that is talking about a documentary about illegal immigration. That's called Illegal. And it's from the perspective of an undocumented immigrant who then became a citizen and all this kind of stuff. And like the whole premise of the documentary is, the voice of the immigrants have kind of been left out of this conversation about immigration and border control and so forth. And so like, that's still important today. So when I talk to this client, I want this client to still feel confident about the message and the thing that they're talking about. Are they going to have some potential challenges because of sort of the nature of the reality of what's going on in this world? Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that effort or that message isn't important. That still needs creatives and filmmakers talking about this and bringing that into the conversation and so forth. And so that might even be a post that this person might want to do is, hey, we realize that there's a lot of fear around here. We totally acknowledge it. And when we reflect on that, we see how, the sense of insecurity that we all feel drives us to a sense of panic. And this is the insecurity that, our producer felt in his home country, which led right. And so there's a connection there that this shared human experience is heightened in this case. We're God, my hope out of this is that we would have a sense of unification a little bit in the sense of like, oh, wow, we share vulnerabilities to these primal emotions and so forth. So all that is to say, I wouldn't go into the zero-sum game mentality that, I can't talk about the thing that is important and that I care about because this other bad thing is happening. That's why we make art. That's why we create things. That's why products are invented, is to try to respond to the human condition, right? So in some ways, it's appropriate to be doing this. Now, the flip side of this, or not flip side, I guess, another thing to be thinking about is I do think that this is the perfect time to start working on a crowdfunding campaign because you're going to be at home a lot. People are going to be in front of their computers a lot. This is the perfect time to start building out an audience, building out your message, your story, your narrative. I would desperately try to not freeze in this time. This is the perfect time that if the world around you is shut down, okay, great, go home. Read, meditate, work on things that you need to be working on, do writing, and start building the audience for this project that you have. Because again, there is an other side of this crisis, and be ready for that. Be ready to rock and roll. Be ready to come in after we've all had this sort of collective trauma and start telling stories to help we human beings out of this trauma. Whether it's games or movies or even products, awesome products. Although, I know not a lot of you guys watching this are product people. It's not my jam. But yeah, art, entertainment, these things are not unimportant. Now's the time to start prepping for that. We can't control the crisis. We can't control what gets shut down. We can't control what the CDC tells us to do or the World Health Organization. We have little control over that. All we have control over is how we respond in this crisis. And, of course, on a human level, I hope we respond with a sense of community, a sense of, a collective will towards healing and goodness to each other. And in terms of the specifics of crowdfunding, now and sort of career stuff in general, like now's the time to better refine your story, your product, your game, your film, your build out that audience, build up social media, talk about things, find your voice. Because again, you can't control the fact that the external factors are going to put some limitations on you. All you can control is how you respond to those limitations. And if you can learn how to take this negativity in and somehow transmute it into positivity and movement forward and creativity and ingenuity and entrepreneurialism, like if you can do that, what an incredible response that what a symbol of the greatest parts of humanity and artistry and creativity, right? So I hope that this message gives you some practical tips and helps you make some decisions about things that are coming up. And at the same time, I hope that in this time of turmoil and chaos that you are able to find peace, you're able to find healing, stay well, stay safe, and don't give up. Don't give up on that thing that's burning inside of you. That's why you're even watching this video curious about crowdfunding, because you've got this thing inside of you. That thing is still important. That thing is still valuable. That thing is still going to have a positive effect on the people in your world and the world around you. It's just that right now there's a little bit of chaos and craziness, and we got to navigate it. So I wish you the very best. I hope you stay happy, healthy, and safe. Please use this. I'm going to be posting this around, whether this is on YouTube, whether this is on any of Facebook pages or groups or whatever. Please use whatever comment box or whatever to talk back. If you have any sort of specific questions about crowdfunding, any fears that you just want somebody to have an ear and listen to, hopefully in this time I can be there for you in either of those capacities. All right. So take care. Hope all is well. Peace.